think a lot of people are overlooking Bivol'S, man. He got a nasty 1-2. Not saying he's gonna connect with Canelo, but he has a nasty 1-2. It's a different weight class for Canelo. Golovkin at 40?
Yeah.
He's 40 years old?
40 years old, yeah.
When was the last time Triple G fought?
Shoot, man, that's a good question.
And when is his next one? Isn't he fighting? Isn't he fighting? He's fighting soon, isn't
he?
Before he fights
Japan.
All right, so we got to see that. That's the only way we could tell.
Yeah.
I mean, not saying that Murata's going to do anything different, you know, that Canelo would do, but I'm just saying we got to see how he looks. Because he does look like he's slowing down.
Yeah.
You know, it's catching up on him. I think I seen it from his last fight.
I mean, to me, Golovkin fight's going to be just as easy as, say, the second one. The first one, it's kind of rough, right? You can go either way for it, but he got the nod. It ain't. I don't consider that a robbery, right? I seen robberies.
He got a nasty 1-2. Not saying he's gonna connect with Canelo, but he has a nasty 1-2. It's a different weight class for Canelo. Probably nothing that Canelo's it's nothing new for him. But I think it's gonna be a great fight. I do see Canelo just outboxing him.
I think that he's the hardest out of the four that were like potentially like given to him, like between Charlo, Benavidez, Golovkin, and Bivol'S. You think Bivol'S the hardest?
Bivol'S, he's from the fights I've seen him.
He's a tricky dude, man.
Tricky dude, but he's very solid, very tight. And Canelo likes guys like that. You can pick him off. Like, you could really pick him off.
Yeah.
I mean, he did it with Callum Smith. Even though Callum Smith was tall, but he was boxed up like this to the point where Canelo just went around, clipped him, brought him down. So it's all about how they box, man. I mean, it's a fight made. It's a fight made for Canelo. Not saying it's fixed, but it's a great fight. It favors him because of his style. That's why.
Yeah.
Not because it's a fixed fight. A lot of people think all these fights are fixed, but it's not. It's just because of the styles. That's why they come out with the saying, styles make fights. But it's a great fight.
It was like
no, it wouldn't. To be real, it would not surprise me because this guy, he's a little tricky, a little awkward.
Yeah,
he's super. So what happens with awkward fighters? It throws a lot of the most stylistic fighters off, from the Mayweathers to if you want to go back to the Canelos, it throws them off. Floyd was never good with awkward fighters. He maintained it, but it was very hard to deal with awkward fighters.
Like
Maidana is a main example of what an awkward fighter is. You know, but I mean, look, it's gonna be a great fight. I like it, and I think it's great. You know, good for Canelo, man, having 2 fights already scheduled and contracted. As long as he beats this one and then Golovkin, it's gonna be great.
You see a threat that can be possible? I say no. I say it's wishful thinking. Some might be hoping that it's just, you know, be competitive. They'll take that. Canelo right now is his own machine to make whatever he wants to happen right now.
In your opinion, Teo, who's the one that can beat Canelo?
Canelo.
Himself. There's no one else. It's just him. Because some trainers have told me David Benavidez is one of the only guys that can beat him, but maybe Artur Benavidez.
Nah. Canelo. I'll be honest. Canelo's the only person that can beat himself. He's at that point now where he knows mentally. He's at that phase where he knows, like, he's the shit, but he keeps it humble to where he keeps that grind. And that's a dangerous fighter because that's how Floyd was. So he's at that point now where that stage is, that mindset is like that. You know, and he's looking to do bigger and better things. Somebody like that, you can't stop him. He has a plan. These guys are trying to be famous and rich. He has a plan to make history. Big difference on a set of mind.
But I say right now that when you look at the title that we give every year to the pound-for-pound fighter, if anybody said does this need to be looked at or need to be questioned or even boxing debate, need to have their license or their microphone or anything that they have dealing with boxing taken from them. They no longer can be a part of instigating of something that looks so obviously and is obviously to people that might be just fans that don't have their feet really into the business on the inside like that. It is what it is. And I'll be talking the same way if he was with us or with someone else, and which he is, or by himself at the end, or all above. At the end of the day, he at his moment right now. There are very few fighters in boxing history, and you can name a lot of great ones, where the world is your oyster.